With the end of the final beta of Etheria restart and the approaching official launch on June 5, I am trying to plan on the potential characters and teams I can build. I was fortunate enough to be able to play the final beta, but was only able to get to around account level 20. I did a lot of mistakes there, but that was the point for the beta, because it will be wiped anyway. My top mistakes are: number 1, I neglected the shells. Number 2, leveling up the gear too much. And number 3, building too many characters during the early phase of the game. Now for the final beta, I had focused too much on the Doki Doki and Terramatan dungeons, as those were the most available video guides when I was looking for info. The shells are important, actually. They give significant stat boosts, so don't skip on me, even in the early phases. Don't invest too much on the early shells though, since they'll be replaced soon, but make sure to have a shell on each of your character that you use at the very least. I will still level it up to around level 10 for the usable ones, and maybe ascend them as the quest needs for the over leveling of the gear. So my guideline now for the upcoming launch will be to only level purple gear to up to level 6, and if it is a good one, meaning we have the correct main stats with some usable substats. If you want to be able to clear hard one of Doki Doki or Terramatan at around level 11 to 13, you will actually need to upgrade the purple modules to level 6, and not necessarily for all characters, but at the very least the main DPS and some of the squishies, so they don't die in one hit. As for building too many characters, this was due to me not knowing all the characters and the abilities that I need, so during that time I was just building those that were suggested in the video guides that I found. Seanb recently posted a video on basic team building, and I found it to be very useful. There are limitations to guide videos though, since the content creators of these guides do not know what your own account will have. They won't be able to give you the appropriate or specific suggestions that is tailor-made to your account. So they can give alternatives for the best teams on their guides, but of course, since they don't have all the information for your specific needs, that may not be presented in their videos. They may also have lack of experience or knowledge on a specific character because they never used it during the beta or the test server. However, sometimes not having the best character but still be able to do a particular thing, like let's say you have the worst character that can do an attack up buff, having a character that can do that is still better than not having a character that does that specific buff, for example. Now I don't have access to the test server, so I can't look at each character and test them there. Hell Hades and Pridewind will have details of this for each character, but I can't search for specific things like show me all characters that can do attack up or cooldown reductions, and I also can't directly compare between characters that can do this specific role. So I have created a Google Sheet to hopefully help me build my teams and see if there are any critical abilities that I may have missed. And surprisingly, even some R units can fill certain roles. So I'll be using this sheet in this video to help me figure out my target summons for rerolling and try to pre-build my team for the contents of the game coming launch. Maybe it can also give you some ideas that you can use. So let's start with that one. So since I am rolling, why not go for a light and dark character as my first target unit? So among them, we have Messiah. He has vulnerable debuff and invincibility. He can do cleave with his ultimate, and it's only on a 3-turn cooldown, so he would be good damage dealer, cleaver. Doki Doki would be somewhat of a speed tuner or turn meter manipulator, and she can also cleanse. Shadow Senya is all about damage over time. So the damage over time seems to be strong, as each DOT debuff would actually do 4% HP damage for the target. However, I don't think Shadow Senya is a good start for early game progression, since most likely the gears won't be able to support that team with the stats and the capabilities of the gear. And since I did not pull Shadow Senya in the final beta to be able to test, I can't really say if it's a good early progression unit or not, but I'm leaning to say she is a good end phase or end game unit, but not for early game progression. Heinrich, well, he does buff dispel, and he is actually the best buff dispeller or buff stripper for any content of the game, so that is something to watch out for. And lastly, but not least, Lily. Very good turn meter manipulation, has cooldown increase for the target and cooldown reset as well, which can also allow for follow-up attack. So with that said, I think I am leaning towards Lily as my target summon for the launch. Close second by Heinrich because of his buff dispel, although I'll try to see what alternatives can be used, what units can also do buff stripping. Since this is a turn-based game, the turn meter manipulation is actually very important, so I am really leaning towards Lily. Now, I'll be focusing on probably Terramaton and Doki Doki farming for the teams, and that is because that will be something I'll be farming in the early stages most likely, and that is also the one that I had most experience with during the final beta. Now, to be able to tackle the Terramaton, his immunity needs to be removed, otherwise you cannot put any debuffs on him. Although from my experience in the early stages, you are still able to debuff Terramaton if you go first, if you're faster than him, and you can actually do a debuff before he moves. So from the final beta, my team would look like something like Leon as my damage dealer. I also was able to test out Lily, so she would be my turn manipulator. I had Dorothy as my healer for some survivability. I was not able to summon Xenia, so I was stuck with Dorothy, but she was still able to keep the team alive. I also got Dina. I actually specifically summoned on the Freya banner to try to get her. And the last one will be, I believe it was Valerian. So Valerian helped with little survivability. So this team was able to clear hard 1 when my account was around level 13-ish. Although I did level the characters and the gear, so I'll probably say Leon was around level 39 to 40. Lily was around level 30. My Dorothy was ascended, as well as Valerian was also ascended. Dina was around 26, but they were able to clear hard 1 with this comp. I found Grey to be too squishy, so I had to summon for Dina, or try to summon her, and fortunately I was able to get her and test her out here. I also tested Chiaki the Echo here instead of Lily. She works here to help with turn meter manipulation. Freya as well. I was able to get Freya when I was trying to get Dina. So Freya also works for turn meter manipulation. But checking out Lily here, let's see what I have been lacking. So I actually lack attack up, so that reduces my damage to Terramatan. So that might be something I will try to fix in the coming launch. So I did have some buffing here. Okay, so that would explain it. Valerian can do random buffs, which could be an attack buff, debuff up, crit rate, and speed. So because it's not a consistent buff, sometimes I might not get the correct buff that I want. So I'll probably try to get a more consistent attack buff. I did have shields with her to help with survivability, since I cannot one-shot kill Terramatan at this point. I do have the debuffs with Dina, so I have some increase in damage. Fall attack. So mainly I'm lacking a attack up buff and probably a buff remover. So let me try to change this to a attack up character and see what my options are. So we can see we have Yang, but his element is not good for Terramatan. Turandot, red is good. She also has buff dispel, so she is an option for me. Attack up, def up would give me some survivability as well, and dispel Terramatan's buff. And I'm trying to focus on SRs for now, because it's highly unlikely I'll be able to get another SSR specifically if I targeted for Lily. And if you notice, surprisingly, an R unit number 41 has attack up and some turn meter manipulation, so she could be a buffer and help with a little turn meter manipulation here. But ideally, I think I am lead Okachi. This is your free unit as well, has attack up, so it could give you a CD decrease and gives one of your units extra turns. So Kachi could be a good stand-in, because our units, although their abilities are useful, have lower stats, so survivability might be a challenge compared to the SR and SSR units. But at least we know that number 41 Kachi, Chiaki the Echo, could actually give you the buff to run that as well, and she could be your buff dispeller and one healer just in case. So I think this will be my target my target team for Terramaton, at least for the first, the early stages up to hard stages. So let's just double check. If I'm fortunate to able to get this entire line up, well, ideally I think I want Senya here. So let's assume the best and I get Senya here. So additional turn meter manipulation, and she can cleanse. So looks like I have attack up, some cooldown, some increasing critical damage from Lily, def up from Turandot, speed up, some speed tuning, turn meter manipulation, buff dispeller from Turandot to clear the immunity, cooldown increase for the target so that they don't use the skills often. Def down, I think def down is important. Unfortunately, Dina is there. If I don't have Dina, I think I will use Gray. Gray also gives me crit up. Although I find him squishy for Terramaton, maybe if I get better gear, I could give it to Gray to have him survive. But I think I would prefer Dina instead of Gray, but Gray works. Got heal and revive, the move, follow up. Yeah, I think this will be my target team for Terramaton at least. Lian I plan to use until I clear the quest rewards for her. I believe we need to ascend her one time and max out, level her skill twice. So after that, I might be looking at another DPS. I heard Victor would be good. Victor does have shield. So that's one option. Fleeting as well, I heard was good, although his passive would target the unit with the lowest HP to give him that extra crit rate. So Terramaton might be kind of difficult if you're doing more damage to the attack tentacle, and Fleeting might be targeting that first instead of the body, but that could be an option if you want to destroy the attack tentacle of Terramaton first. But yeah, so for my first team, I'll be aiming to use this team, which is Lian for my main DPS, and then Lily for my turn meter manipulator. She also does improve cooldowns and crit damage buff depending on the situation. I have a healer, ideally Senya, so I could also cleanse some debuffs that will be put on my team by Terramaton. Dina will be mainly the debuffer that increases damage to Terramaton, and Turandot would be my buffer. But let me see if there are options for a crit increase. Let's see. Okay, so besides Gray, Dorothy the Wisher, crit damage and crit rate up. Rosa, well, Rosa is blue and also SSR, so it will be more difficult. Yang looks to be good. My only concern is actually his element. I think I might try Yang and hopefully have his speed faster, that Terramaton won't be able to hit him before I manage to kill or almost kill Terramaton. One thing though in Terramaton is you should try to not have any of your units die, because once one of them dies, Terramaton goes again immediately. And he also buffs his basic attack permanently every time he does the AoE attack, if I'm not mistaken. So a long drawn out battle with Pteromaton is not good, because eventually Pteromaton will able to one-shot kill any of the units. So if I am to try to build a team to kill fast, kill it in one or two turns, I may try Yang, because I like the combination of his abilities more. He has attack up and crit up, and he can dispel the buffs, and has turn meter manipulation. So I'll try if Yang can survive Pteromaton's hit. If not, I might go with Turandot instead as my second, and if not, it could be number 41 if I for some reason are not able to get any other attack buffing units. So 41 is given for free, so at the very least you have number 41 as an attack buffer. So I'll try to get Yang, test him out. If he survives, he will be it. I could also use Yang for Doki Doki, I'd imagine. And if not, I'll try for Turandot for the attack buff and buff spell. Okay. So I think I'm good with my first team for Pteromaton up to hard. Also, for the hard mode, I have another team that I was able to manage to clear. It was, let's see, I rerolled an account without Lily, and what worked was Dorothy was the healer. The turn manipulator was Freya. Again, I was trying to get Dina, but to do that, I summoned on the Freya banner, and I was also provided with Freya. I got who was that? It was Valerian again for that one. Leon, Freya, Dorothy, Dean, yes. So this was another team that worked for me. Also around account level 13. Same thing again. The gears were level to 6 for the good purple ones. They all have shells, although not the optimal shells, but shells to give them some stats. This one also worked for me for hard one around account level 13. So this, at least, unless they change something and some of these characters are nerfed, this worked for me. So at the very least, I know this works. So if the ideal team I was thinking of does not work, this will work if there are no nerf affecting this one, or maybe buffs to the boss, for example. But yeah, this is an example of what I could build, and I could see what things I may be lacking. So yeah, this will be the part for Pteromaton.